Hello and welcome back to another YouTube video. If you're new here, my name is Georgia. I'm a women's online health and fitness coach, and I help the most incredible powerhouse women step into their confidence across all areas of their life, dropping 10 kilos plus, toning up and building a lifestyle that works for them and sticks long term. And if you're not new here, welcome back to another video. I appreciate you coming back to my channel, honestly, so much. And today I thought that we could talk about dieting phases, because I am very close to going into my next dieting phase whilst also being in full prep for my Hyrox, which definitely makes things a little bit more challenging where nutrition is concerned, because I want to be making sure I am full and I am fueled so that I can perform at my best, but whilst also leaning up and dropping body fat. This dieting phase is going to be taking me all the way up to December, which is when my next photo shoot is, literally a week after my Hyrox. So they are very much overlapping. And I am a strong believer that in a dieting phase, you do not have to feel so hungry that you want to gnaw your arm off. I believe that dieting phases should be made as easy as physically possible. And for that reason, there are a few things that I swear by when I'm in a dieting phase. Take a shot whenever Georgia says dieting phase, because we're going to be in for a long ride here. And I want to share those things with you so that if you are currently in a dieting phase or going into a dieting phase very soon, you can not only nail this, but also make your life as easy as possible in the meantime. So I want to share my top foods that I make sure I do not skip when I am on a diet, so that I can feel my best and also look my best without having to eat portions of food that are literally child size. So with that being said, let's get into the video. Now, the first thing that I want to talk about is your protein and also your fiber, because those two things are going to really help not only satisfy you during meal times, but keep you fuller for longer in between meal times, which is really going to help limit the sort of picking and snacking that you quite often feel the need to do or want to do when your calories are a little bit lower. So first of all, making sure you're having a high protein diet is going to be key. The way that protein is digested is slightly different to the other macronutrients, which essentially means it takes longer for your body to break it down, therefore keeping you fuller for longer. So making sure you have enough protein in your diet is the perfect place to start. Now, the amount of protein that you need to eat is very much dependent on the individual, your body weight, your current body composition, your goals. But as a guideline, I would recommend to have at least 20 to 25 grams of protein with every single meal to make sure that your body is getting enough protein to keep you full, but also maintain your muscle mass as long as you're giving it the correct training stimulus to do so. Then second of all, we have your fiber, which is going to promote healthy digestion and also help to keep you fuller for longer. Now, there are lots of different foods that you can get fiber from, but I specifically want to chat about fruit and veggies, because these are things that you can eat in vast quantities for not a huge amount of calories, so you get way more bang for your buck. Again, as a guideline, I would make sure I'm having at least 1 to 2 servings of fruit or veg with every single meal, maybe roughly about 100 to 200 grams. So for example, this could look like something like having banana or berries on your porridge in the morning, salad with your lunch, veggies with your dinner, and then for a snack, a yogurt bowl with some fruit. Now that we've nailed the protein and the fiber, I want to talk about some key food swaps that honestly are a saving grace when I'm in a dieting phase, and these are things that I am definitely going to be utilizing as the weeks go on and I go into my next dieting phase. And the first one of those being 0% fat Greek yogurts. The reason why is because A, it's super versatile, and B, you get so much bang for your buck with regards to calories versus protein. Now, you can go for the 0% or 5% fat. I really don't mind. And this is not to say that fats are bad. We very much need fats in our diets, but if we can make temporary swaps like this, it honestly makes the world of difference. And this is also something that I definitely want to stress, and something that I work on with my clients, is that dieting phases are temporary. They are not for the rest of your life. And these swaps are temporary to make your life easier in the meantime. So to give you an idea, if you had 200 grams of 0% fat Greek yogurt, which is a decent amount of yogurt, I can't lie, that would be roughly 100 calories and 20 grams of protein, which is amazing macros. This is perfect for things like breakfasts with some fruit, some granola, some honey, or even on a smaller scale with some fruit and dark chocolate for an afternoon snack. You can also use it to add to sauces to make them creamier and boost your protein up without using something like full fat cream. So it's super versatile and really delicious. Plus, you can also add it into things like smoothies. You can add protein powder to boost the protein up even more. So you really can use it with pretty much anything. and it is something that I literally have in my diet day in, day out, even when I'm not in a dieting phase. Moving on to savory items, the first one that I want to put you guys onto is chicken sausages. Firstly, because they taste great, and secondly, because they are just so convenient, and again, low calories compared to the protein. I use these to meal prep. Sometimes if I fancy a savory breakfast, I'll have it for breakfast, or I might even snack on a couple of an afternoon. And again, it's a really, really easy way to boost your protein up and therefore help keep you fuller for longer. Which brings me on nicely to 5% fat mince, which again is going to do the exact same thing. Super high in protein, slightly lower in calories because of the reduced fat content, and so easy to cook, especially in bulk. I do things like chili con carne for my lunch. For dinner, I'll do things like spaghetti bolognese, cottage pie. I even put it in stir fry sometimes just because it is really, really easy to work with. And in case you're new around here, I'm a big fan of convenience where cooking is concerned, and I am not one to be spending hours slaving away in the kitchen. And that's why 5% fat beef mince is a staple in my diet, especially when I'm in a dieting phase. The next thing is definitely a game changer when you're in a dieting phase is making either lower fat or low sugar swaps. This comes into play especially with things like sauces and your liquid calories, aka your drinks. So sauce wise, instead of having your regular sweet chili sauce, could you opt for a low sugar version? Things like mayonnaise, again, opt for the lighter version. You still get the same great taste. You still get to add that flavor to your meal, so you're not just eating boring chicken and rice, but you're saving yourself a ton of calories in the meantime, which means that you can make the most out of the actual food in your meal that is gonna have you feeling satisfied and full. Liquid calories can be a huge one that I see creep up a lot with clients in dieting phases. And again, we can make some really easy swaps to make sure that we're making the most out of our calories, but still getting to have that balance of having those treats if you do want them. So for example, if you are someone who likes a fizzy drink, could you opt for the zero sugar or diet version? Or if you love a takeaway coffee, could you go for something like a sugar-free syrup instead of a regular syrup? So all of a sudden, instead of having your iced caramel latte with regular syrup, which is going to cost you probably a good 100 extra calories, you've literally shaved that off and you get the same great drink. The biggest thing here is that when you are in a dieting phase, you can still eat the foods that you love and enjoy, but you just need to do so in a slightly different way. And this is something I massively preach with my clients, because to me, food brings me a lot of joy. I love the meals that I eat, and I want to be able to eat foods that I enjoy every single day. And by making simple swaps like this and including some of the ingredients that I've chatted through today, you can make incredible, easy, delicious meals that are calorie friendly, and they're still going to help you hit your protein and keep your fiber up nice and high so that you can stay full whilst you're in your deficit. And like I said, these are literally things that I'm going to be implementing over the next couple of weeks as I transition into my next dieting phase. And if you want me to map out this process for you so that you can nail your next dieting phase without having to eat portions of food that literally look like they're meant for a toddler, then I'm going to put my link for my one-to-one coaching applications down below. If we're a good fit to work together, I will drop you a message and we can take it from there. If you guys made it to the end of the video, thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this one helpful, and I will see you in the next one.